Hey everybody, this is Heartless Spartan with another threezero Toy Talk review. Today I have the 1/6 scale FigZero figure of Yor Forger dressed as the assassin, the Thorn Princess. This is my second figure from threezero and Spy Family to go along with Anya. Unfortunately, Lloyd is still on pre-order, so I don't know when I'll get him in hand to review. Though I feel that threezero is still missing a vital member of the Forger family from Spy Family, and I would love to see a 6 scale figure of Bond in the future in some way. Let's get on with the review. Okay, let's take a look at Yor. So we have her box here. She actually does have a window box. And another character portrait on the inside there. I actually like that they're kind of like sort of like an old-fashioned kind of action figure box that they put these in. I like that. All right. Didn't need to open that far. Let's get Yor out. Okay, yep, that's everything out of there. Let's her over there. What have we got here? Instructions on swapping the head sculpts out. Very much the same as Anya. There we go. What are those called? I'm just going to call them needles. Okay. Slide that back in there. I think that's like a warranty card that's in there too. I'm not going to worry about that. If that wants to go back in the bag. Okay. So let's get our cover off of our package. I have to hold the needles because they want to fall out. Okay, let's get Yor out. There we go. Alright, how can we get the plastic off of her? Save those. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Yor is quite pretty, and they gave her such an elegant dress for like her assassin's outfit. I really like it. It's all like a cloth material too. Okay. So, let's take a look at Yor's head sculpt first. Matches the well, I've only seen the anime. I haven't seen any of the manga or read any of the manga. Oh, hold on a sec. She's got some plastic sticking out of her head. Hold on. Okay, yeah, she had a piece of plastic under her hair. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I like those anime eyes. I mean, her hairstyle is real nice. I never noticed in the show that she has this like little braid back here. That's really nice. But yeah, she looks straight out of the anime. I like the little earrings. There's some good fine detail on here too. I like the sculpting of these flowers here. these hair pieces over her ears. Those are cool. She's got like whatever that is as like part of her necklace there. These straps are very thin. You have to be very careful and gentle with those. We don't want to break those. And if we look at her dress from the back, it's all black. But I think the interesting part is this design on the inside. There we go. I think those are kind of like, they kind of look like flowers to me. It looks like a cool pattern, though. And then this one, she actually does have the wire in there, so if you want to pose her and like some cool like windy kind of action sequences, you can. And my camera really doesn't want to focus. There we go. So you can bend the wire. It's just in the sides. It's not in the bottom. Camera doesn't want to cooperate today. Her skirt ends at the thighs. Let's take a look at her boots. Okay, yeah, you got to be real careful with these because you don't want to pose this too extreme. Which, I mean, they can bend, but you're also pulling on this up here, which you don't want to do too much. Because, see, it actually pulled it down on me. So you got to be careful with that. Otherwise, you're going to end up kind of ripping these. And then over time, this kind of foul leather like this, that can kind of rot and flake a little bit. So you want to be real careful with this and store it properly. But, I mean, it really does look nice. It's got a great look to it. But you're going to have to be very careful about that. Otherwise, I mean, she has pretty good articulation. The elbows, the arms, at least for the price that the figure was. And she has these gloved hands. So, I mean, yours looking great. Straight out of the cartoon. Straight out of the anime. Let's take a look at her needles. She gets 2 of these. They're made of plastic. There's a little bit of give, but I wouldn't want to bend these too much. Be careful. They're a little bit pointy. But we'll have to check her hands in a little bit to see if she actually holds them quite well. I like the shine that was on there, too. Okay, so Yor also came with additional face sculpts. Here's one where she's looking not too happy. We'll take a look at how to swap these out a little bit later. I like that they have the earrings already kind of like pre-attached on there. Just be careful not to break those off when you're swapping the faces. And here's another angry one. This time her mouth's open. Let's actually compare that with the other one. There we go. So the eyes are a little bit different too. All right. I think this one, it kind of looks like she's yelling at somebody. All right. Next, we have various hand sculpts for left and right hands. It looks like these ones would actually hold the needles pretty well, so we're going to have to check that in a minute. So, needle holding hands, or weapon hands. We've got a pair of fists, closed all the way, which is pretty cool. And I'll call those kind of like fighting hands. Let's go with that. All of them have the gloves on them. Not removable. They're sculpted on and painted. And I always like when the companies include these. These are additional wrist pegs in case one of them breaks. Because that tends to happen, and you're going to want extras of these. I mean, sometimes it just happens no matter how careful you are. So, let's actually try swapping out one of her hands. There we go. I'm actually going to put a needle in this one. There we go. I don't want to mess up the paint, so I don't want to push it too hard. There we go. Oh yeah, that's held pretty firmly on there too. Okay. And they got that. They sculpted that really well. All right. Yeah, once that's in there, she is not going to drop that. And pop that right back on there. Maybe not the most menacing look on her face at the moment, but that fit right on there. All right, so that was one of the hands, and then I could actually pop that out quite easily there. There. All right. So now I actually want to show how to swap out one of the face sculpts. So earlier, now if these little flower pieces pop off, they can pop back on. So these actually do come off. So if you're afraid of breaking them, maybe you can pop those off so you don't break the little ends of them. And then, now the first time pulling the hair pieces off, I've noticed, even on Anya, it was kind of really hard to get it off, so it might take a little bit of effort. You just got to be careful because you don't want to break her earrings when swapping these sculpts. So there's her hair. Yeah, this is the first time taking this out. All right, there we go. Pushing up under the chin gave me a little bit of leverage. Then, can maybe grab like the angry one where she's like yelling. Slide that onto there. And then put her hair. Goes right over the top of that. It goes right back together. And you don't want to forget her hair accessories on either side. There we go. Then, yeah, I'd rather push it up through. There we go. I wouldn't want to do that too many times because it might mess up the paint. And then, like I said, be careful posing her because if these break, they're not really fixable. There we go. She does not come with a stand, so we'll have to figure something out on our own. But hey, that's pretty cool. I'm really starting to like these threezero figures. We can move on to the montage. Yor's dressed elegantly as the Lethal Thorn Princess, and it looks like it's right out of the anime. The figure has a fair amount of articulation. She comes with needle weapons, which fit quite firmly into the weapon hands. The face sculpt she came with matched the tone of the assassin side of Yor, and the calm face can be used to look like she's having an elegant night out with the family. I do have some issues with the materials on her boots and straps. Those will become problematic over time. Otherwise, collectors have to be extremely careful not to tear or bend them before then. Otherwise, Yor is looking fantastic here, and I welcome the figure into the collection, albeit with a bit of anxiety over the materials used in her outfit. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Would you want a 6-scale Bond made by threezero? How should they make the fur? This has been Heartless Spartan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.